What is up, guys? Welcome back to the House Brewing Company YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for watching. Today's video is an interesting one. Michael and Nick often put me in these situations where they put beers in front of me. They have a background story for me. In this particular case, I guess there was an article on the internet and 50 state beers. And so they went out and they sourced the beers from each individual New England state. So they put them underneath these bags in front of me. They've poured them into the black blind tasting glasses right here. And all I'm gonna do is drink through them, comment on them. Hopefully you as the viewer can pick out what they are, and then we'll have a little fun and reveal what they are and talk about whether or not we agree with the fact that they are those New England state beers. The state of each respective beer is written on the bag. I don't know what beer I'm drinking. You guys, the viewer, don't know what beer I'm drinking, but as I go through the list, you'll have some idea of what I'm drinking based on my tasting notes, and hopefully I'll either be able to guess or know right away what beer they are based on their iconic flavor profile. We're in Massachusetts. We don't want to be presumptuous. We'll leave it up to the viewer to leave in the comments down below what you think is the Massachusetts state beer following the tasting. So let's dive right in. Can I know which? I can't know what state. Okay, that's right. I know, this is new for me. This is a new format. I think this is gonna be really hard. The black glass makes it hard. I can't see color differences. I have to rely entirely on my palate, taste, and aroma. Sample number one. Oh, it's got some like old school hop character going on. Resiny, like Simcoe, Chinook. Got that like floral kind of hop oil, almost licorice-like hop character on the nose. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. There's a lot of beers that could be. Wow, it's bitter. Okay, definitely that sample, whatever state it's from, old school IPA, pine, caramel, little bit of oxidative character going on, but old school IPA, that's sample number one. Moving on to sample number two in the New England state beer tasting. Oh man, this guy's really simple. Really straightforward. Think I got a lager here, I think. Smells light, a little bit of bready malt, a little bit of noble hop character, but all things considered, very light. Yeah, crushable, light lager, a little bit of a metallic note, but I mean, in terms of this guy being blind and being a state beer, it could be just about anything. I do have an idea though. I don't know. Again, if I was choosing what beer was what for a state, I think I would pick this one for that state, but I'm not sure. Sample number three. Yeah, this one's got some clove going on, some phenolic notes. I think I know what this one is. A little bit of citrus characteristics, classic Belgian aroma. Very little hop character, very, very little bitterness, very easy drinking on the palate. Super clean, crackery malts, Belgian yeast. I bet you that one is Maine. That's the only one that I'm super sure of right now, but I don't know. Sample number four. Okay. Huh. It's not cheating if you go to another sample before commenting on the fourth sample. Interesting. Clean pineapple, aggressive hop notes, doesn't linger on the palate. A little bit of a warming alcohol sensation at the end, lingering bitterness. Certainly a newer AG IPA with a little bit of West Coast attribute going on. Clean, not oxidized, pretty fresh, probably within 4 weeks old if I had to guess on the sample. Sample number five. Kind of a juicier, more modern aroma and nose. Huh. I gotta stress to you guys, I'm coming into this completely blind. I know I'm tasting beers that are supposed to be associated with certain New England states. When I walked up to the sample kit here, I got brown paper bags in front of me and I have beer in black glasses. I can't see what they look like. I can't see if they're clear or hazy. Again, I do not know what I'm tasting. And these last two especially are reasonably difficult. Not to distinguish, but they're two, in the same similar vein type of IPAs. This one is a little bit less bright. It's a little bit ashier, a little bit drier. Probably, I think, a lower alcohol percentage than this guy. This one's bright, kind of a more pineapple forward note. Finish is bitter, does linger, but it's not astringent or anything like that. This is actually a fun tasting. If you guys are fans of the channel, first of all, make sure you get subscribed and leave your thoughts down below. Both of those things are a huge help to the channel. This one's a lot easier in many ways to many of the tastings that we do. A lot of the tastings that we do have very similar beers that we're splitting hairs between the differences between them. These are pretty substantially different with the exception of these two. They have some similarities and some differences, but this guy is kind of like an old school IPA, caramel, piney hops, things like that. This is a light clean lager. This is Allagash White. This is a juicy double IPA with a little bit of an old school flair, and this feels like a younger cousin of sample number 4. So I'm not sure what you guys had planned for me, but if I can take a crack at naming at least a couple of them, I'm then gonna go deep and try to figure out the last 2. So sample number 2, we have Gansett, it's Rhode Island. Sample number 3, we have Allagash White, it's Maine. Sample number 4 is Heady Topper, it's Vermont. And I gotta think about these two. I think that sample number 1 is Smutty Nose Finest Kind, New Hampshire. And I think that sample number 5, the only remaining state aside from Massachusetts would be Connecticut. I'm gonna say it's either G-Bot, formerly known as the artist formerly known as Gandhi Bot, or the Two Roads. I don't know the name of that beer. Sample number 1. Oh, we were right on the state and we were right on the beer. 1 for 1. Sample number 2. That's Gansett? Yes. Rhodey. What are you guys thinking, by the way? So far, Smutty Nose, New Hampshire, Gansett, Rhode Island. That seems like a pretty good couple of beers so far. Sample number 3. If I get this one wrong, we are canceling the channel and you guys can all have Treehouse. Allagash White, Maine, coming in at number 3. Sample, no, if I get this one wrong, there's gonna be a mutiny. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. It's Heady. It's gotta be Heady. It's gotta be Vermont. Yes. Oh man, that's... Again, you guys can imagine the stress on me, right? You know, new age brewer, certainly inspired by The Alchemist. I know that flavor profile in my sleep. That would have been super embarrassing. Beer number 5. Again, I don't know. Let's see how we did. Oh, is it Gandhi Bot? Yes, dude. Nebco, classic, awesome brewery. Support those guys in Connecticut. Flavor profile isn't as familiar to me as, you know, Heady was side by side. Certainly had that old school characteristic, and I think I did mention, and I was right about the fact that it's lower in alcohol. No, it's not. So I was not right about that. It might be slightly less. No, it's actually slightly more than Heady Topper. So my perception of that beer was wrong. So kudos to Nebco for making a beer that drinks very, very lightly and yet being 8.5% alcohol. All right, guys, that's it for today. What did you think? Did these beers represent these New England states? And leave your thoughts on who should have the crown in Massachusetts down below.